just waiting for Anita to come back. Okay, we're back online, folks. We'll call the meeting to order. Could you join me in the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. And Supervisor Greg Ritzloff are excused this evening. Okay, we'll move on to citizen comments. Anybody wishing to speak? Anybody wishing to speak? Anybody wishing to speak? Citizen comments are closed. Announcements of the chairman. I'd like to congratulate Judge David P. Wilk on being sworn in as our newest judge earlier this afternoon. I'd also like to congratulate Dennis Elverman on his latest marriage this past month. Many great years of marriage to you, Dennis, and you're with your wife. And that's all I have for this evening. Move on to supervisor reports. Supervisor Grady.
And this is for the Department of Public Works and Facilities. I'll be brief. This is mainly just a lot of follow-up on things that have been in the works, not a lot of new things here, but just to enumerate them and list them off. The 60th Street Tower is complete. July 15th and 14th was actually the move-in. It is on a microwave type system, and we do have a fiber optic backup for that. In other news, the Ewell House, the former Corporation Council's building on the east side of Kenosha here, that real estate transaction closed August 15th. The sales price was $267,000, and the county netted $249,000, and we're pleased to see that now be not a thing we have to be concerned with. We thank the administration for a little bit of due diligence. It was a little bit trickier than average real estate closing, but did get done. The building we're currently in is undergoing renovation, as you're all obviously aware, and we should be done with that November 1st. We're on schedule, we're on budget. Moving down to our highways in Pleasant Prairie, Supervisor Noble's district, County C and County H is now open. That's a roundabout. Kind of old news, happened probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. The rail crossing at County S, Washington Road, has been a sore spot for a number of weeks. We are working with our department, who is working with the Office of the Rail Commissioner, encouraging the railroad, which is rather tardy, to get that thing fixed up as it's becoming an increasing hazard. So that's in the process, but like a lot of these things, it's slow moving. Going down to golf, doing pretty well in the courses. A slow start, as you know, due to the weather. When you take a look at the numbers, the actual number of rounds are down, which is not surprising due to various conditions, but the actual revenue per golfer is up, meaning that we're getting more play in terms of spending on accessories, food and beverage, that type of thing. So we're pleased to see that the golfers that are attending are patronizing and doing quite well. Final note on the golf, the PGA Junior League Golf Stars, which we have several Kenosha County members, are the state champions. So we had a youth presence that went and played a variety of golf tournaments, and we're proud to call our local team the state champions for this year. That's my report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Grady. Supervisor Hallman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are 2 items tonight from the Human Services Committee. I won't address those now, but I do want to report on WCA. I attended this past weekend, as well as a few other supervisors. It was interesting. I learned something about us that I did not know before, and that is when you look at us compared to the other 71 counties, with the exception of a few, we are known for being exceptionally active, but what we're not known for is that we're exceptionally young, which is a good thing. That's a positive thing. I know several of our members, Mr. Chairman, expressed some frustration. As a whole, we are, compared to some of the other counties as a county board, we're exceptionally young. That's a good thing. Celebrate that. As I was saying, Mr. Chairman, I know there were several members that were a bit disappointed by the workshops. Our county to the north of us, Racine, saw fit to present a workshop on economic development, and there were some of us that thought that maybe we should have been the ones that enlightened folks on exactly how to do that. And if you look at the numbers, we should have been. I had a conversation with the legislative director, Sarah Diedrich Kastorf, before leaving, and she reminded me that WCA, in their magazine, in their newspaper, did put out a call for submissions. So if we are disappointed by the workshops that are presented, it is our own fault. One of the things that we have as a positive that works in our favor is that we're a county that pays attention to what's going on. So a lot of the workshops this weekend were things that we'd already been doing. They weren't shocks. They weren't surprises. In terms of Wisconsin, we're fairly cutting edge. Compared to what's going on in other states and some of their counties, we're not cutting edge, we're behind. So I say that because this is where we should all start to put our thinking caps on to say, what is it that we can present to the other counties? What is it that we can be doing, not only so that people know that we're a leader, but so that we can raise everybody up along with us? And if somebody wants to be in dialogue with me about different topics that could potentially be utilized to do that, I'm certainly open to having that discussion and strategizing. Beyond that, one of the things Ms. Kastorf did say to me is that it is very difficult for them to program. We have some county boards where the information that was presented this past weekend is extraordinarily helpful. We have others like ours where they're ahead. You have the county executives and administrators who say, we're good on all of this other stuff, but this is really what it is that we want to talk about. She said, internally, the office staff of WCA does not want to be in the position of deciding from Madison what it is the counties should be talking about. They want us to drive the agenda. So I say that again to remind you to put your thinking caps on. If you've got one, if you've lost it, please find it, and come up with something so that we can help educate one another and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Hallman. Supervisor Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted the board to know that due to next week or the end of the month falling on a Wednesday, the first county board meeting is October 7th. Well, that would be the second Wednesday for the Judiciary and Law meeting to hold their budget meeting. I did move that back a week to October 15th because I didn't feel it gave us enough time one day to look at the budget, so I just wanted the board to know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Esposito. Supervisor Ervelman.
Me? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Supervisor Grady hit on all my items I was going to report on except one. This past weekend was another very successful Oktoberfest in Paddock Lake. Anybody that was out there saw the throngs of people, and if you missed it, you missed Jenny Tunkett's doing the dog races.
Oh.
As the children were saying, the wiener dog races, and she was quite the active official at those races. And we had the county executive judging, and we had Mark Midori, I think, was judging. And there was a lot of people out there that had a great event. So The reason I report on that is that we are one of the major sponsors of that, and our Parks Department does a lot of work out there, and it was a huge success. So we thank everyone that was there.
Thank you, Supervisor Elverman. Vice Chair Bruning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I attended the business meeting portion of WCA this on Sunday. And to piggyback a little bit off of Supervisor Hallman, not only should we be driving the agenda of the workshops that are there, but we should also be driving the resolutions that come forward to WCA. Sitting during that business meeting, there were 15 resolutions that came forward, and they were telling me that this was a light year, that there's usually 25 to 35 resolutions that come forward. 15 of those. 12 of those resolutions were tabled indefinitely because they chose not to act on them. And when I started questioning them about it, they said it really wasn't a county issue. And I challenged them on it that maybe they should deny it and send it back to the county and give them an explanation about it. But they said that that's the way that it had always been done, and that's the way that they were going to do it. So I did have a conversation with Willie Johnson Jr. afterwards. He is now our president of WCA, and we will have some ongoing conversations this next year on how to correct this issue. I hope that we can, Kenosha County, take some resolutions to WCA next year and try to get them pushed over to Madison. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Bruning. Supervisor Gens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very quickly, we finally, in our exhaustive search for a project manager for our software project, have identified an individual that we're going to start our due diligence on. So I'm very pleased with that, and the contract negotiations for the software should be beginning very shortly, so I'll keep you apprised of that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Gens. County Clerk.
County Executive Appointments, Ellen Kupfer to serve on the Kenosha County Human Service Board.
Refer to Human Service Committee.
Ordinance 22 from Planning Development Extension Education Committee regarding Thomas D. and Teresa M. Murphy, owner, Jeremy Tecompe, agent, requesting a rezoning from R1 Rural Residential District to R2 Suburban Single Family Residential District in the town of Salem. Noble, yes. Decker, yes. Skalitsky, yes. Retzloff, yes. Gable, yes.
Supervisor Noble.
I move ordinance.
Ordinance 22 has been moved by Supervisor Noble, seconded by Supervisor Decker. Supervisor Noble.
Yes, this ordinance is Thomas and Teresa Murphy. It's a rezoning. The property is located on the east side of County Highway W, also known as Fox River Road, approximately a half-mile north of County Highway F, 93rd Street. The rezoning would allow for a lot line adjustment with the neighbor to the south. The town of Salem recommended approval of the request. Normally, I would stop right here, but it's a short agenda tonight, and I wanted to give you the backstory on this particular piece of property. If you look at the map, while I talk about it, I think you might find it interesting. You might want to say, this story is what can happen if you are a good neighbor. The neighbor to the north on this property, he has owned this property for quite some time, and about 16 years ago, he built his home on it. And all those years, he thought that his lot line ended at the tree line, which is that dark green line that you see running through his property. So he and his wife decided they wanted to sell the home, and they hired a surveyor to survey the lot, the piece of property, and they found out that their lot went way past the tree line, and as a matter of fact, it went right through the driveway of the neighbor to the south. Well, you can imagine the surprise when the neighbor to the south found out that, he didn't even own his own driveway. So the two neighbors got together and talked about it, and eventually they determined that they needed to go to the county and see what could be done. And they worked with our staff in the county, and they came up with a plan for a nominal amount of money. He was going to sell this particular piece of property, the .66 acres that you see on this map, to the neighbor to the south. And what we're doing today is basically passing an ordinance so that they can come up with a new lot line, which will be right where he always thought it was, at the tree line. And the two of them can consummate their deal and move on with their life. So I just wanted you to let you know the particulars behind your vote. So I urge your approval so they can, he can sell the land to the neighbor to the south.
Thank you, Supervisor Noel. This is a simple majority vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. County Clerk?
Resolution 50 from Finance Administration Committee, a request to approve the reappointment of Richard Gosling to the Kenosha County Housing Authority Board. Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. O'Day, yes. Colmeyer, yes. Brunig, yes. Gens, yes. Dodge, excused.
Supervisor Rose?
On behalf of the Finance Committee, I would move to approve the reappointment of Richard Gosling to the Kenosha County Housing Authority Board.
It's been moved by Supervisor Rose, seconded by Supervisor Ron Frederick. Supervisor Rose?
The reappointment was reviewed by the committee and unanimously approved.
Thank you. This is a simple majority vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Resolution 50 passes.
Resolution 51 from Human Services and Finance Administration Committees regarding resolution to modify the 2014 budget for the Comprehensive Asthma Control Collaborative Grant Program. Human Service, Hallman, yes. Gable, yes. Johnson, yes. Anita Johnson, yes. Decker, yes. Arrington, excused. Blau, yes. Rutzloff, yes. Finance Admin, Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. O'Day, yes. Colmeyer, yes. Jeff Gens, yes. Brunig, yes. Dodge, excused.
Supervisor Hallman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move resolution number, where am I looking? Thank you, 51.
It's been moved by Supervisor Hallman, seconded by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Hallman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have the information about this grant here. To answer the typical question, yes, the people are going away when the money leaves. However, we do have one person who is finishing up a project who will be moving to this project as his or her previous grant program runs out. So, but beyond that, the people will go away with the money. Once it's gone, the personnel are gone too.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is a budget modification, so we'll have a roll call vote, please. Yes if you're in favor, no if you're against. Passes unanimously.
Resolution 52 from Judiciary and Law Committee regarding regular cabaret license for Kickstand Bar and Grill. Esposito, yes. Anita Johnson, yes. Boyd Frederick, yes. Arrington, excused. Ron Johnson, yes. Blau, yes. Poole, yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move resolution 52.
Resolution 52 has been moved by Supervisor Esposito, seconded by Supervisor Anita Johnson. Supervisor Esposito?
As we all know, Kickstand Bar and Grill was put on a extension of 6-month probationary period from the March 18th County Board meeting. They have been found to be in conformity with the county ordinance. Haven't had any problems since, so Captain Weichert, Captain of Field Operations, stated they're ready for a regular cabaret, so I ask for your approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no lights, this is a simple majority vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously.
Resolution 53 from Judiciary and Law Committee regarding regular cabaret license for Shadow Hill Ranch, DBA Country Thunder. Esposito, yes. Anita Johnson, yes. Boyd Frederick, yes. Arrington, excused. Ron Johnson, yes. Blau, yes. Poole, yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Thank you. I move resolution 53.
Resolution 53 has been moved by Supervisor Esposito, seconded by Supervisor Boyd Frederick. Supervisor Esposito?
This cabaret license, regular cabaret, deals with the change in ownership of Country Thunder or Shadow Hills. So that happened in March with a probationary. So we urge your approval for a regular cabaret license. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no lights, this is a simple majority vote. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Passes unanimously.
Resolution 54 from Judiciary and Law Committee regarding probationary cabaret license for Upper Deck Bar. Esposito, yes. Anita Johnson, yes. Boyd Frederick, yes. Arrington excused. Ron Johnson, yes. Blau, yes. Poole, yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Thank you. I move Resolution 54.
Resolution 54 has been moved by Supervisor Esposito, seconded by Supervisor Ron Johnson. Supervisor Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Upper Deck Bar and Grill is applying for a probationary cabaret license at this time. The premises is found to be in conformity with the Cabaret Ordinance Number 802. This establishment has had some issues in the past with the operations end of it. They have complied with what the town of Summers had asked them for, so I ask for your approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no lights, a simple majority vote. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Passes unanimously.
Communications from Andy M. Bueller regarding future items scheduled before the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee.
Receive and file.
Claims, 21, Richard L. Hitchcock, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Approval of the minutes from the September 2nd, 2014 meeting by Supervisor Rose.
Supervisor Rose.
I would move the approval of the minutes.
Been moved by Supervisor Rose, seconded by Supervisor Esposito. All those in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
It's been moved by Supervisor Rose, seconded by Supervisor Dodge. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Thank you.